Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to be having a 2v2 on Rzhev. Our heroes today are going to be Snow, who is the submitter of this replay and is incredibly playing with no monitor. Quite an amazing feat, I have to say. Not an easy thing to do, play with no monitor, but well, here we have Snow with no monitor playing for the Soviets, the Red Army. His ally on the yellow color is Insane Ivy, playing again for the Soviets. This is no custom game. This is on the auto match. So that's the Soviets. His enemies are going to be a chemical compound which I don't know how to name. That is 2C7H. So 2 carbon, 7 hydrogen, 5 nitrogen, 3 oxygen. I don't know, some number enemy, as the Germans, and he has Jabberwokky as his ally. So this is a 2v2, and the last time I did a 3v3, I got from most of you that you actually enjoyed seeing it with no HUD, I guess you could say. However, one thing that I am going to do, because even in 2v2s I can't actually show, my standard overlay with the other players' units because, well, I would have to clutter the entire screen with units and we wouldn't be able to see the match. So what I'm going to do, and I hope that you guys like it, I'm going to do this. And I can't have the overlay, but I can have this up here. Doesn't look as great as the normal one does. We can't actually tell how many points is over here, but we can still see the bar and get ourselves an idea, right? So hopefully you guys like it. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at that tactical map, which now actually allows us to see the points at the same time. So anyways, we see the Soviets basically going for the center. We have a small engagement on the left-hand side, which we'll take a look at right now. We have Pioneers and Conscripts engaging over this point. It is a standard point. And the Conscripts do jump into the house, forcing away those Pioneers. So we have Pioneers all over the place. And, well, Conscripts should have an easy time about it. So we now have the Conscripts for the Soviets basically cutting the field in half. And these Pioneers are basically caught on the wrong side of the tracks. Pioneers are retreating at 2 men, and they're going to run into 3 squads of infantry. Are they actually going to make it out alive? Let's take a look at them. There they go. These Conscripts are running, and the Engineers are building mines. So luckily enough, those Pioneers are going to make it out alive. A little bit to the south, though, we do hear an engagement. We have 3 Pioneer squads engaging against these Conscripts. 3 Conscript squads against 3 Pioneers. Conscripts are going to win that fight. 1 Pioneer squad does get shot down on the retreat, while a Conscript squad gets taken down to 1 man and manages to make it out alive just in time. Pioneers are putting up a ferocious fight against these Conscripts of the Soviet Combined Arms, but another squad falls down to 1 man, has to retreat, while the last one is left in the middle of the field, surrounded by enemy, not able to do much. It's going to have to get out of there quite fast. Down to 2 men. They do hit retreat. 1 is probably going to drop, and is the last one going to make it? It looks like he is, and there he goes. So not that heavy losses, a lot of manpower loss there on that fight, but the Soviets are, victorious there, allowing them to capture the left-hand side of the map. This point over here is being captured by Conscripts, so they should be fine. On the right-hand side, we don't see any Soviet forces. We do have a combat engineer running through the line of fire from these Pioneers. Pioneers are simply capturing the right-hand side. We have some over here very close to the enemy bases, actually, right next to them. So the map is split differently. This is split just across diagonally, or vertically if you're looking at it this way, instead of using the river as a natural choke point. So we do see Conscripts heading out, trying to push away these Pioneers and recapture their territory, while the Pioneers are still doing a nice job of denying territory. Up in the north we have an engagement. Again, Pioneer versus Conscripts. Molotov goes in. The Pioneer does get shot down to 1 man in very quick succession, but he manages to make it out alive. The Conscripts are trying to bait these Pioneers into the mine. They move, you saw the movement over here and then down to try to see if these guys will chase them. We do have Panzer Grenadiers on the field now. Who knows for who, but it is the German army. Doesn't actually matter who is in charge of them. But oh my god, down to 1 man. Very brutal mine there. Very nice placement. And, well, that was well worth the mine. So the conscripts are engaging the pioneers. Pioneers again are separated and in a bad spot. The conscripts are using the hole in the ground set up by the mine to use or get a little bit of cover. Use that cover to move up on those pioneers, and the pioneers are now getting shot at by 2 conscript squads. They're going to have to get out of there relatively fast. Otherwise, they are going to die quickly. Down to 3 men. They do manage to get themselves some better C1 and do retreat. Down to 2. Probably one more guy is going to die on the retreat. And no, actually, they make it out alive. Over here on the right-hand side, we see a heavy engagement with flames and everything going on. We got conscripts against 3 pioneer squads. 1 pioneer squad gets instantly killed pretty much. Second one is down to 2 men, down to 1. Doesn't actually manage to retreat while the last pioneer gets out of there alive. The conscript squad did take a little bit of damage, down to 4 men, so it is going to retreat and get some reinforcements. While this point was not actually captured by the Soviet forces, I think that is a mistake. They left a little bit too early. This one actually stopped, but it's not in the area. Up in the north, we hear a heavy engagement. Panzer Grenadiers are back on the field, going to provide a very good firepower, especially with a flamethrower to back it up against these conscripts. Molotov goes in, expecting those Panzer Grenadiers to stop on that fence or go through there, but the Molotov landed a little bit too late. Conscripts do get forced on the retreat. Only down to 3 men, so they make it out alive. Panzer Grenadiers just moving around, capturing. And the Soviet forces have actually managed to sneak a unit over to the right-hand side and are going to start capturing that fuel. This point is now captured, while the other point did get finally captured back by the Soviets, connecting all the territories. So we now see the German forces a little bit on the back foot. They are on their side of the river, while the Soviet forces control pretty much the rest of it. But we don't have any set-up positions on that territory. The entire left-hand side is open for the Germans to take. Panzer Grenadiers moving on the right-hand side. They might find that conscript squad over on the fuel point, and it looks like one of them is actually going over there, while a flamethrower squad is actually trying to capture this munition point, but it is going to get intercepted by a lot of Soviet forces. That is 3 conscript squads going straight at them. Even with the flamethrower, they will do some damage to all these clumped up units, but they are going to have to retreat. And there they go. Retreat is forced down to... Oh, wow. Very nice. Pioneer squad does get executed on the retreat, and they actually end up dropping one of their flamethrowers, or, well, the flamethrower. There it is, and it looks like conscript squad with Vet 1 is actually going to pick it up. If they can. Can they? They're trying to, but doesn't look like they can. Right-hand side. Ooh, conscript squad gets executed in that house by those Panzer Grenadiers. Quite unfortunate for them. Did they actually manage to pick it up? They're trying to pick it up, but it doesn't look like they can. Why not? What's going on? Is it because it's underwater? Yeah, it looks like it might be lost underwater. You can see it clearly there, but you can't actually pick it up. Let's see, if we use a unit that I can control. No. No? Huh, that's interesting. Well, we'll see if the Pioneers can actually pick it up themselves. So anyways, left-hand side, we have an engagement. We have penal battalions on the field and conscripts engaging these Panzer Grenadiers. That flamethrower is going to be quite brutal, and no, the Pioneers were not able to pick that up. Flamethrower, no, it looked like it ignited, but that was just a grenade, being quite brutal. Molotov goes in, but way late. Panzer Grenadiers do manage to run behind the conscripts, but are now getting shot between 2 conscript squads. It's not a favorable position, and they do have to retreat. Massive retreat here from some forces in the center. We do have a strong push by the Germans on the right-hand side. We have Panzer Grenadiers supported by 2 flamethrower on the Pioneers and a Vanilla Pioneer. We're going to capture that territory, and we have Panzer Grenadiers, and now we have a scout car coming onto the field for the Germans, so this is going to be quite bad for the Soviet forces. Soviet forces on the left-hand side are going to try to intercept these Panzer Grenadiers that are capturing territory. They are going to stop them, although these guys are at 3 men, so they can very quickly die. Down to 2 men. They're going to go down to 1, and is he actually going to make it? He does get out of range while these conscripts just run through. Both units were queued up on the movement, and we now hear something exploding. Scout car did get its autocannon upgrade, which is a great upgrade to get, considering it doesn't really have any downsides. Autocannon not that useful against infantry, but you still have that MG42 coaxial, which will do the job. Massive retreat from conscript squads all over the place. A lot of explosions going on, and this conscript squad at 1 man. Is it actually going to make it out alive? It looks like it is. Quite lucky there. Looks like a conscript squad might have actually gotten killed on this side of the map. Yeah, look at all that. Conscript squad did get executed by those Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers are brutal anti-infantry units. Engineers having to retreat. German forces taking territory on the right-hand side. Panzer Grenadiers all over the place, and we now have a T-34 for Soviet forces. T-34 pretty much unopposed at this point. It does have to worry about mines, but Panzer Grenadiers do not have any immediate counter to tanks. They can obviously upgrade to Panzerschrecks, but that is a munitions upgrade that you have to research, and it takes time. So, as opposed to Grenadiers that can immediately Panzerfaust to do some type of anti-vehicle, Panzer Grenadiers, well, they have to invest a lot. Half-track plus Panzer Grenadiers and a Pioneer with flamethrowers on the field now. Very strong push, but there is that T-34. T-34 is moving over on the right-hand side and is in a very nice position to catch that half-track. These conscripts, if they have anti-tank guns, could also potentially throw one. T-34 is going around and is going to get some shots on that half-track. Yeah, there it goes. Turns around, takes a shot at the half-track. Very nice hit. Brings it to about 75%, maybe 60 at least. Another shot goes in, down to about 20%, 15 at the least. And one more shot should finish it off. There it goes, out of control, and half-track is killed. So very nice use of the tank by the Soviet forces. We now have submachine guns equipped on the Soviet infantry, which is going to help them fight off those Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers are doing a lot of damage still, though. They are inherently better because of their training. And the conscripts do get brought down to 1 man each and do retreat right on time. Another conscript squad and a guards rifle troop is on the field. They are going to provide some long-range fire support, but they also have those nades which they can throw. And more infantry supporting, fighting against those Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadier squad does get brought down to 1 man. The T-34 is trying to kill it on the retreat, although it's focusing on the other squad. It does retarget the single one. No, it still goes for the one with more men and doesn't actually manage to get any kills. So very nice move there by the Soviet forces getting that T-34. The T-34 was actually what they needed to be able to break that attack, but they are very much cornered in their side of the land right now. They do decide not to cross the river right now because they don't want to risk their tank. They're just capturing territory, while at the same time we have Panzerschreck, the quick Panzer Grenadiers, moving into their territory. With those Panzerschrecks, they do reduce their anti-infantry capabilities. They are supported by Pioneers, but I think even a single squad here should be enough to keep them at bay, especially with that flamethrower. That flamethrower is going to do quite a number on them, and there's also a support from submachine gun equipped conscripts. Pioneer squad does go down to 1 man, but manages to make it out alive. In the center across the river, we do see an engagement. Panzer Grenadiers against those conscripts. Conscripts still trying to go for that flamethrower that is lost under the water. Doesn't work anymore. You can't actually light water on fire as you normally would with gasoline, so it's useless. You have to just let it go. So still the Soviets are in a little bit of a trouble. We do have that T-34 just going around capping with its Vet-1 ability. Managed to actually decap that fuel point, or cut off that fuel point for the German forces, denying that income. And we now have a combat engineer over here capturing the fuel point, while at the same time the T-34 is capturing the victory point. Pack gun for the Germans now hitting the field to get some heavier anti-tank capabilities. We also have another T-34 from the other player on the German side, but we also have a Panzer IV hitting the field. So with that pack gun and the Panzer IV, if they keep them together, that would actually be quite a nice, potent anti-tank front. And we also have a lot of Panzerschrecks on the field. We can see Panzer Grenadier here with Panzerschrecks. We also see another one over here. No, actually no. Whatever, there's one over there, at least 2. Engagement in the center, we have multiple infantry squads all over the place. One conscript squad does get killed, trying to go for that house to get some cover. While it is a nice idea, they do take a lot of damage, and those are 3 Panzer Grenadier squads. Even though one has a Panzerschreck, that is still 6 Panzer or Sturmgewehr rifles shooting down on your units on the move, and it's quite a lot of firepower. Left-hand side, we have a big engagement. Again, more Panzer Grenadiers and a pack gun opening up against combat engineers and guards rifle. A bundle nade, probably? No, it looked like a bundle nade was going to go down on those guards rifles, but they do jump out of the house and decide to try to jump into the other house, but unfortunately it is locked by those other guards, or sorry, the combat engineers. They actually locked the door when they went in, and those guards rifles were just left there knocking. They now have to get out. Flamethrower does get utilized pretty effectively by that combat engineer, actually igniting the flamethrower on that pioneer squad, doing a massive field of damage here. One Panzer Grenadier squad is down to one man, runs through the fire, but manages to make it out alive. The other one is at 4 men. One catches fire while running through that. A second one catches fire and falls down and is now down to 2 men. So these combat engineers have actually done quite a lot of damage. We also hear another engagement a little bit further to the right. Panzer Grenadiers all over the place. This might be a time to call in some snipers. That would actually do a lot of manpower drain to all these German forces. Guards Rifle facing off against all those Panzer Grenadiers. A nade would be wonderful in this situation, but it's a little bit too late. Only did a little bit of damage, didn't actually kill anybody. Conscripts are supporting the Guards Rifle, and we have a T-70 on the field. T-70 is going to be quite effective against the infantry, and actually manages to kill instantly one of those Panzer Grenadiers on the retreat. Panzer Grenadier squad with the Panzer Shreks is forced to retreat and could actually get killed by that T-70, but the T-70 looks like it was rallied to this side of the map and unfortunately misses an opportunity to kill 2 Panzer Grenadier squads. So the momentum has turned a little bit for the Soviets' favor. They have managed to recapture the fuel on both sides of the map. He has a tank and a penal battalion on the right-hand side doing some capping and being quite effective. And we also have the T-34 on the left-hand side plus a T-70. Panzer IV in the center of the map, taking some shots by that T-70. T-70 being a little bit annoying, just taking some shots at that tank with a damaged engine. Doing a little bit of damage, not that much, but the major damage is actually coming down from the PTRS rifles on these guard squads. The conscripts are moving around, probably going to intercept it, but doesn't actually need to. The Panzer IV does go down, and that puts the German players in a bit of a pickle. They don't have any other type of armor on the field. They do have a pack gun, which could help. And I believe it has actually taken down one tank, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where it got taken down, but pretty sure there was a T-34 around here. Well, anyways, conscripts engaging these pioneers. They do hit the dirt in front of them, getting some some light cover, and the pioneers are forced off the field. T-34 and penal battalions just on this side of the map, capturing, being quite annoying. Panzer Shrek-equipped Panzer Grenadiers and a Pioneer squad on the right-hand side is also capturing territory to cut off the fuel on the right-hand side for the Soviets, who also have this point cut off currently. It's getting captured, but they're not getting any income from the left-hand side fuel either. We now have another Panzer IV hitting the field and going over to the right-hand side. It's catching that T-34 out in the open. T-34 is going to run away since it doesn't have any additional anti-tank support. Panzer Shreks go off and manage to get some critical damage on that tank, damaging the engine in the process, and the ram ability fizzles off and the T-34 is killed off. So nice pickup there for the German players. The Panzer Grenadiers are forced off by the penal battalion, but there is not much else on the right-hand side. We also hear an engagement over here on the left-hand side. That pack gets circled straight by the T-34 and is also surrounded by a lot of infantry, so that pack gun is toast. There's still a Panzer Shrek that needs to be worried about, and I think these Panzer Grenadiers are going to be able to kill off that tank before it kills them. There it goes. And they are going to retreat through all the infantry, managing to make it out alive because they are at 3 men, but this pack gun is probably now going to be in the hands of the Soviet forces. Right-hand side, Panzer IV is still doing a push against 2 T-70s. T-70s are not going to be able to put up much of a fight against that Panzer IV. This one gets a destroyed gun and is going to try to run away, but the Panzer IV does chase it, sends it out of control, and is going to crash probably against that house. No, it crashes against the capture point. 18-8 does go on top of the Panzer IV, while the other T-70 gets the hell out of there, did not get killed. And the Guards Rifle is going to basically do some consistent damage onto that Panzer IV. It buttons the tank, basically leaving it immobile. And we don't have any follow-up armor. We do have a SIS gun, or a anti-tank gun for the Soviets. Guards Rifle is down to 1 man, actually drops a PTRS rifle and ends up retreating, leaving the gun in the floor. But they should be able to make it out alive. That Panzer IV, I don't think is going to be able to turn in time to shoot it. He does pop his smoke to try to get it out of there alive, and it is at about half health. T-70 does get damaged by the Panzer Shreks over here, and the Panzer IV is going to finish it off, I believe. No, he does actually manage to get out of sight range, but if he stopped, no. If he had kept on going, well, he just keep on going. Ooh, very nice shot there. Actually kills off that Panzer Grenadier before he manages to throw off his shot and drops a Panzer Shrek. And the T-70 manages to make it out of there. It is still just shot blocked there by the hedge. And we have conscripts right in front, gonna say hello to that Panzer IV. Panzer IV gets shot by the ISIS gun and instantly killed. So that T-70 is gonna make it out alive. So as far as points goes, it is looking a little bit rough for the Soviet forces. They did get brought down to, looks like about 240. Around there. I mean, it is less than half, so less than 250, so around 240 probably. But they currently have the map triple capped, and the German players are pretty much pushed back all the way to their base right now, and the points are triple capped in their favor, so they might actually make it. We'll see how it progresses. T-70 is getting repaired, and we have engagements up in the north. A Panther hitting the field now. That's going to be quite effective against any armor that the Soviets have currently on the field. The Guards rifles are taking shots at that Panther, and it doesn't actually look like it's doing much damage, if anything at all. Panther does get 18-aided, damaging that engine, so it's going to be quite annoying. PTRS rifle still going in, doing some damage while buttoning the vehicle, you know, stopping it from doing much. But that damage is currently negligible. Nothing on the field for the Soviets can actually kill it unless that Panther just simply parks itself in front of an anti-tank gun. Over on the left-hand side, incredibly enough, we don't see that the pack gun got recruited. Some interesting choice by the Soviets. He actually has a conscript squad on the left-hand side, which could recruit it, but, well, to each his own. Panther does get repaired instantly by 3 Pioneer squads and is going to head back out onto the field. Right-hand side, Panzer Grenadiers are capturing that fuel point, and we have a conscript squad. Nah, it's just going over to capture. I thought it was going to intercept, but it's just going to capture that victory point, speeding up that that point bleed. And we have the Panther going across the field. Panther is taking shots by that anti-tank gun. Anti-tank gun actually misses on the first shot, doesn't do any damage. Second shot goes in and gets very nice damage on there, and actually manages to get a damaged engine on that Panther with that shot. No 18-8 went in. We also have a button going down by those Guards rifles, preventing that that Panther from going anywhere pretty much. And once that buttoning stopped, he is going to try to move it out of the way, but I think he might actually lose it. This squad is still at 3 men. Pioneers are not the best at taking out infantry. And one more shot should actually do it, if I'm not mistaken. He actually misses that shot, hits right in front of it. And the anti-tank gun actually gets finally decrewed. So, lucky break there for the German forces. The Panther, though, is pretty much toast. And the points are now down pretty much equal 250 to around 250. Pioneers do end up retreating. And engagement on the left-hand side. Panzer Grenadiers against Vet 3 Conscript. That's not going to go well for the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers down to 1 man. They are going to get killed if they don't retreat. And there they go. Squad polished off and executed. And we have a game over. Okay, well, not entirely sure what happened there, considering that the game doesn't tell us, but oh my god, I'm going to move out of there so it doesn't be that loud. But considering the map possession, seeing that we have 3 points in the possession of the Soviet forces, and the points we're going to take down pretty fast, I think we can determine that the German forces decided to call it quits and retreat. That Panther was going to get flanked by all this. We have a T-70, a Guards rifle, conscript squad, and that T-34 coming behind that Panther with a damaged engine, while at the front getting shot at by Guards rifles. So yeah, that Panther was probably toast, and after that Panther died, there was really nothing left for the German forces. In fact, there isn't really much left for the German forces. Let's suffer the sound once again. We can see it's a Panzer Grenadier squad, a Panther. We have 2 Pioneer squads over here, and 1 Pioneer squad building this weapons cache, or what was it? Fuel? Probably fuel. Can't really see it because of the overlay gone, but yeah, it looks like that's probably it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Let me know what you think of just simply having the score up there, so you know we have at least an idea what's going on victory points wise. But yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed the cast. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description below. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.